Hello, everybody, and welcome to Reviews That Don't Matter with Jessica Hitt. My name is Jessica Hitt. On today's episode, we are reviewing the Season 2 premiere of Riverdale. Yes, I said it. One of my favorite new shows of last year is back, and it was back with a bang. And quite literally, because Fred Andrews, Archie's dad, was shot at the end of last season, so we picked up right after that. And to all of you who have not watched Riverdale, I do recommend it to pretty much everyone. It's this really interesting mix of like Gossip Girl meets Twin Peaks, leaning heavy on the Twin Peaks for sure. Like you can tell it's an inspiration. They have some cast members from that show, for crying out loud. And honestly, it's just a fun show. They know that they're campy at times. They know when to be serious. They have good acting. Hell, friggin' Cole Sprouse is in this, and who does not love the sweet life of Zach and Cody and whatever, Baby Daddy or Big Daddy? Is that the Adam Sandler movie with him? Maybe. And by the way, this will be a spoiler review, so I just wanted to say that I am very happy with this premiere. I thought it set up a really good mystery. And now, if you've not seen the premiere, this is where you switch off, go watch it, switch back onto this. This is where the spoilers begin. Let's go. So it basically leaves off exactly where season 1 ended, which I like. I like that there's not a time jump. I always hate when teen shows like just skip the summer and then go back to the next year. First of all, you can get a lot of mileage out of like doing a couple seasons per year in the show, and so I think that's where they're heading with Riverdale. They'd like to do multiple seasons, and they know they can't do that if they do like one season is 1 year in school years, because then they're graduating in 3 seasons, and then you just have to deal with the whole going to college thing, which never works. Anyway, we're back to this sophomore year for the Riverdale kids. Archie Andrews' dad, Fred, was shot in a supposed robbery at Pops, and it begins with, of course, Jughead Jones kind of narrating a bit. I didn't care much for the narrating part. I thought it was just like weird in a way. Describing how Archie doesn't have a driver's license and it was a miracle that they even made it to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. I will say I love KJ Appa's performance as Archie in this, because in the first season, which most people will agree with, Archie's not the most dynamic character. He's a little boring. While everybody's going off on this crazy murder mystery or like being just really dynamic characters, Archie's just kind of there like, I wanna do music, but like I'm on the football team and I gotta work with my dad at his construction site. Like I want to do all this stuff. I'm like, okay, Archie, nobody cares about your singing career. No one cares. We just care about the Pussycat Dolls. Or the Josie and the Pussycat is what I mean. Oh my God, I messed that up. Also, I hope you noticed that I feel like I'm dressed today a bit like the nostalgic 2000 Josie and the Pussycats movie. That's kind of what I was going for today. So yeah, I feel pretty good about myself. Anyway, what I was saying is that I really liked KJ Appa's Archie in the season premiere. I thought there was a darkness to him that we hadn't seen yet. I mean, one thing I will say is that the finale, when Archie was punching through the ice to save Cheryl, was, first of all, one of the hottest things I've ever seen. Second of all, it was the best character moment for Archie because it actually like meant something to the show as a whole. Like there were stakes to it because nobody wanted to see Cheryl die because she's a great character, and to see Archie just like go man beast and punch through the river of ice, like that was pretty awesome. It was a high for his character, which is not hard to do in my opinion for the character of Archie, but I think that they're really going to try and make his character more dynamic and more interesting to watch, especially when you're surrounded by the Veronicas, by the Bettys, by the Jugheads. So I'm very, very happy with what I saw, and I'm really just impressed. Honestly, this cast is so good. The core 4 actors are fantastic. They really are. I really liked Veronica in this episode. I do think that she needed to find her way in the episode for sure, because it started off with like, I don't know how to be a girlfriend in a situation like this. And then it went to her deciding to just jump into the shower with Archie while he's washing the blood off of him and his cast, which he obviously did not care about getting wet. I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do that, right? Anyway, that was a little weird. And then finally she kind of steps up in a way. Oh, and then there's that scene where they're like talking and there's the dog, Vegas, that they're walking. And he's telling them the story about basically how no one loves this dog more than his dad and how much his dad does for it. And then at the end of that scene, Archie's like consoling Veronica for some reason. Like, Veronica, I'm sorry, last time I heard, your dad wasn't shot and in the hospital in a coma, basically. And then finally, Veronica kind of stepped up, refused to leave Archie in his time of need, and was like, no, I'm going to be here. I might be annoying and all that kind of stuff, but you need to not be alone at this time. And there was a breakdown with Archie, and it was a really sweet moment. And it was great that they didn't go backwards in that relationship, especially since they really just got together. So I'd like to see it develop as opposed to just completely fall apart right away. And Betty and Jughead are fantastic as always. They have great chemistry, probably because the actors are dating in real life, so that's going to be awkward when they eventually break up. Very Chad Montgomery and Sophia Bush, One Tree Hill era type of divorce. They got married and divorced while they were on the show, and they still had to play opposite of each other. Like, that's hard. That's real hard. Anyway, I like how Jughead in this is literally just like, well, it couldn't be a robbery because this is Riverdale. This is where murder happens. And there's been like two murders technically. Jason Blossom and then that guy that shot up but was really like murdered because he knew too much. And then of course Clifford Blossom was hung. So I guess a lot of people have died in this. Anyway, he just immediately thinks that there's something more to this, which he's right. Betty's there. What is she doing in this episode? Tempering her mother? I love Betty's mom. She's the best adult in this. I think she's so entertaining. I just love her so much. I feel like Betty's really like the rock of this friend group, basically. I mean, she's Archie's best friend. He's the first person she calls. She's the one that is good friends with Veronica and can talk her through things. She's with Jughead. She's just a solid force. Even though she can go dark Betty sometimes and there's something a little messed up with her, she's just like a solid rock of a person, and that's exactly what the show needs, is somebody that can bring everybody back down to their normal selves. Yeah. One thing I will say, though, that was just kind of like super anticlimactic was you could tell Archie had this secret of some sort where he wasn't telling the full story of what happened at Pop's, and I was expecting something like really crazy to happen, and honestly, all it was is that he froze and he didn't go help his dad right away. That's a normal human thing to do. I thought it'd be something just like something completely bat crap crazy. And the interesting thing about Archie is that is what haunts him, is not being the hero. And I think that's actually a pretty good character trait. And even though people don't necessarily care much for Archie because he's so vanilla, like sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need a solid character that isn't on the crazy high spectrum, the like really sassy spectrum. He just needs to be solid. And then there's this whole mystery with Fred's wallet all of a sudden going missing, and so they go back to Pop's Diner where the blood is still there and they're just like mopping it up. That was a weird scene. They're like eating in the diner. Wow, oh my God. Wow, there's blood everywhere, and it's like, how is this not more of a crime scene, like taped off and everything? I don't know. Something felt weird, but this is also Riverdale, where the hospital looks like it's from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest or something. We also find out that Cheryl is now full-blown cray-cray and burned down the house, which we saw in the finale of last season, and her mom apparently decided to run back in to save a portrait of all things, and basically was burned to near death. She has severe burns all over her body, and Cheryl's just like, well, I'm in charge now, which is amazing. And I kind of can't wait to see Cheryl just completely let loose. And then Cheryl does that weird thing where she's like visiting Fred Andrews in the hospital. He's in a coma, and like kisses him on the forehead with her like cherry red lipstick. And it's like this whole thing of kiss of life. And Cheryl's so weird. And Betty and Jughead have basically decided that there's no way this was a robbery because no money was taken from Pops, and this was basically a hit staged to look like a robbery. And now, with the missing wallet, most likely they have all of the Andrews information, and it's a whole thing. And Archie's here to protect his dad now, so he's like staring at the doors. And what's so interesting is, although last season was creepy, this season seems like it's going to be creepy in a different way, to where it's a bit like jumpy. Like last season was creepy because there could be twincest, and there's like these weird things going on with the parents and all this kind of stuff. This season, there is legitimately like a masked guy going around killing people. And there's like that scene where he's like staring at the door and he has the baseball bat, and he looks really fast behind him at the kitchen door. And it's just like, I really am interested to see like how far they lean into that, and they make it more of like a thriller or a horror as opposed to the sort of mystery noir that we got in the first season. Because they did mention that it was kind of a genre switch for the second season. I would be very interested in each season kind of switching genres a little bit, but staying in that sort of realm of noir. And I think that's what they're going to do. So I really enjoyed that, especially with the last scene of the night, which made the finale easily, because it brought back the worst character in freaking Riverdale history, which is one season. And no, it is not the crappy football guy who did all of the sexual exploits and Dark Betty went all crazy on him. No, it is Miss Grundy, who had the pedophile slot in the first season, and everyone was like, no, she's just like tormented, and like, I don't think she's so bad. No, she's a full-blown pedophile, like full-blown. She's doing the same thing with some other kid in Greendale. That's Sabrina the Teenage Witch's hometown, which they're eventually going to bring in. We all know this. Anyway, she gets her neck sliced, basically. Like, it breaks into her house. She's dead. Like, I literally was so shocked. I knew somebody was going to die in this season premiere, because I read a title of something where I was like, someone dies in Riverdale, but it's not the person you expect. And I'm like, they're going to kill off the dog. They're killing off Archie's dog because they gave him a whole bunch of backstory all of a sudden. And that's the rule of thumb. When a character gets a lot of backstory on certain things, they die, especially in Walking Dead. Anyway, no, it was not the dog, Vegas. It was Miss Grundy, who I never thought we would see on the show again. She's dead, which I was very happy for, and I loved that scene so much because it was just shocking, and it was just kind of like that cheery thing when, she just died. It was great. It was absolutely great. So really, I am so high on this season premiere. I like the new mystery so far. I like where all of the characters seem to be heading. I like how there wasn't a big time shift. It's right back where it started. Things that I'm hoping for the season, we get more Kevin Keller, because I think that he is a bright spot on the show, and he brings that much needed like self-awareness character type thing. I want to see more of the Josie and the Pussycats, because one of my favorite episodes last season was the one that was kind of central to them, and learning about Josie and her father and all of that. I really, really enjoy that. Or smaller characters is really what I meant, but very, very excited. I love this show. I really hope more people watch it. I think that it's going to get a pretty big boost because it was put on Netflix just about a month ago, I think, because people were a little reluctant to give Riverdale a shot. And I hope they don't feel reluctant anymore, because it's really good, even though I'm a little worried about them having a full season order, not a half season like the first season, but, we'll see how it happens. I will be doing Riverdale reviews all season long, I guess is what it is. Yeah, I'll be doing it all season long. So please stick with me. I make videos Monday through Friday. Sometimes I miss a day. Please subscribe. Also, like the video, comment down below. What are your thoughts on Riverdale? Are you going to try it for the first time? Please do. So I guess I'll just see you tomorrow, right? Okay, bye.